Welcome to the third video in our six-part series on using LinkedIn to get a job. Today we're going to focus on the profile. Obviously, without a profile, you're not really on LinkedIn. It's the key, if you will, to acceptance into the network. You want your profile to be an accurate reflection of you as a professional and also as a person, without revealing personal information. Interests, hobbies, yes. Marital status, children, no. That's the basic rule. If you go to my profile and you click on posts, you will find my posts on LinkedIn Pulse, one of which explains why you should never hire someone to write your LinkedIn profile for you. It's not necessary. The system is excellent. Just follow the instructions. The more information you provide, the better. What's important to always keep in mind is your profile is the way that people are going to find you. So the more details means the more keywords, and the more keywords means the greater likelihood that you'll come up in search results. Keep in mind when you're creating your profile what it is that you're trying to do. You're trying to promote yourself, you're trying to network, you're trying to show that other people feel that your work is of value. You want to get introduced to strangers. And perhaps most importantly, as we'll discuss in a later session, you want to be able to do research. And just as you want to be able to research other people, you want other people to be able to research you. We're going to touch on all of these aspects of a profile, but as I discussed in the first session, there are a number of anomalies on LinkedIn. And one very curious one that I found is that a number of people have told me that my contact information does not appear on my profile. Well, I know it does. It's there, it's set up properly, it's all public, but for some reason it doesn't show. That's why it's in red at the bottom with the question mark. You want to have your contact information, but do not, and I've seen people do this, do not put your home phone number. I wouldn't even put your cell phone number. Use your office number. Use a professional email address, but remember, if you put down your office email when you leave work, when you change jobs, you're going to lose that email address. So just remember to update it. You certainly want to have a link to your websites and your blog. But again, keep it professional, not personal. This is the first screen for a profile. Begins with your name. If I use my middle initial and I send a message to someone, it will say you have a message from Bruce A, or words to that effect. Someone sees that, they immediately think that A period is my last name. So what is he trying to hide? Why doesn't he want to use his full name? Of course, I am using my full name, but they don't see it unless they click on. That can be a negative. If I use Bruce Hurwitz, PhD, the system then thinks that PhD is my family name. Just use your first and last name. That way there won't be any anomalies in the system. Some people think that if they include a star or a check mark or some other icon or symbol, that will make them more noticeable in search results. Well, that's true, but it won't necessarily get them to the search results. And if someone is looking specifically for them by name, they may not be able to find them because the system will think that the star or the check mark or whatever is part of the name. So they won't come up in search results for their specific name. Just keep it simple. Your first and last name. Your photo should be a clear headshot. Not you with your family, not you with your friends, and certainly not you with someone of the same gender, because no one's going to be able to tell which person is you. After your name comes the professional title, the professional heading. In my case, executive recruiter, career counselor, business advisor, publisher. I include 30K so that people know that I am a mega user, and that if they join my network or have me join their network, they're immediately going to get 30,000, potentially, 30,000 new second-degree connections. And I want people to invite me to join their network. The city and state, your location, vitally important. I hope I'm not being too redundant, but when someone is looking for potential candidates, if they understand the system, they only care about the person's location and industry. So make sure your location is specific. It's where you actually live. And what I'm referring to here, again, and we've discussed this before, is that you don't want, for example, to put United States, because if I'm looking for you because I have a position to fill in New York, I'm not going to do a search in your industry in the United States. I'm just going to do Greater New York City. So using United States as your location will result in your not coming up in search results. Obviously, you don't want that. After your location and your industry, LinkedIn has a drop-down menu. So you have to choose an industry, not necessarily that you would like, but what's available. And sometimes that can be a problem. For example, plumbers and electricians have to use construction. It's not exactly what they do, but it's the closest thing. Then your current employer, your previous employers, your education. If you look carefully, you'll see all that information is in a white box. And then underneath that is another white box that begins with posts. Those are my LinkedIn Pulse articles. Between the two should be the contact information, which is a drop-down menu. It's a bar with a drop-down menu. Again, I can't explain why it doesn't appear. Your posts, and we've talked about this, critical to have posts. LinkedIn inserts it into your profile. You don't need to worry about that. And if you haven't provided photos, they'll provide the photos. They're all generic. It's not an important issue. Next comes the background. This is a summary. Explain who you are, what you do. If you're a solopreneur, what your company's all about. You can also upload documents, video, or audio files. In this case, I chose to upload a PDF of my speaking engagements. Next comes experience. You want to be as detailed as possible. Explain where you work, what you do. Basically, cut and paste your resume. If you've got a good resume, and if you go to my posts, one of them is how to write an effective resume. I obviously am prejudiced. I believe that's the right way to do it. You decide for yourself. It's your resume. But you can cut and paste it into your profile. What you see there, those 4 tabs, pictures, whatever you want to call them, 3 of them are links to audio files, to podcasts, and the one in the bottom right is a link to my videos on eHow. You want to make this multimedia. If you go to my profile after watching this video, you'll find that all of my videos will now be on my profile for obvious reasons. This is a good way to promote yourself. Employers can then hear what you sound like, see how you operate, see how you make a presentation, and don't worry about being perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm sure I've gotten tongue-tied and said the wrong word once or twice during these videos, these webinars. It's called being human. Don't worry about it. No one's perfect. Next comes volunteer. It's important to include your volunteer activities because it says something about you as a person. After that, we've got the skills. We've discussed skills, we've discussed endorsements. These mean nothing, but there's an anticipation to at least see a full block of little thumbnails of people's profiles. It's an expectation, but nobody really gives any of this any credence. Publications come next. You can put them in whatever order you want. Languages, critical. If you speak, and now I'm talking to persons in the United States, you speak a foreign language, well, that's not true, it's anyone. You speak a foreign language, that sends a message to employers that you have the potential to open up new markets for them. So include them. Education, every school you attended. Why? Maybe somebody's going to remember you but not your name and want to find you, and the only thing they know is that you went to the same school, college, university, whatever, during a certain time period. That's how they're going to find you. So include your education. It's also critical because some employers will only hire people with certain degrees. After education comes interests. The interests are all in blue because hyperlinks are formed. List your interests. Honors and awards, critical. This shows that other people think that you're really good. What you think about yourself doesn't matter. If you've gotten awards and honors, that means other people believe that you have something of value to contribute, and that's what employers want to see. Recommendations, as we've discussed, keep it real. They have to be honest, not fraudulent. LinkedIn plugs this in. It's your connections. If you have more than 500, it says 500 plus. You can see them all, but it will take forever. How many shared connections you have between you and the person who's looking at your profile, and how many new connections you have. Groups comes next. You can join up to 50. And finally, who or what you are following. And that's your profile. As I've said previously, and will repeat, please watch all 6 videos. That way there you will have the complete picture of how to use LinkedIn to get a job. And if I have achieved my goal, you will have realistic expectations of what this crucial professional employment social media platform can do for you. Best of luck, and thank you for watching.